Miles Lewis, King of the Ice, by Kelly Starling Lyons. Chapter 1. Game on. Skating is serious business in my family. My mom and dad can glide backwards, spin in circles, bop to the music. They said the roller rink was the place to be when they were growing up. They loved to tell people they met at a spot called Spinning Wheels back in their hometown of Pittsburgh. I know, kinda corny, but it makes me smile. Me? I like skating okay, but bike riding, that's my thing. Coasting down a hill with the wind in my face, pumping my legs as I jet down a trail, I'm with that any day. That's why I sighed at first when my teacher, Miss Taylor, said that our next field trip was going to the rink. My boy RJ caught me. "What's wrong, Miles?" he whispered. "Nothing," I said. "I just hoped we were going someplace different." All around me on the orange and blue carpet my friends cheesed. Jada, Lena, and Simone nudged one another. Carson whispered to Gabby. Soon, our class rumbled with energy like a crowd getting hyped before a big game. Fourth grade already had more field trips than third. I guess skating wasn't so bad. Class, Miss Taylor said to settle everyone down. Yes, we answered. I know you're excited. Let's go over the details. We're not going to just any skating rink. We're going ice skating. Did you know that skating can teach you a lot about physics? Did Miss Taylor say physics? I sat up straight. Now we were talking. If there was something I liked as much as riding bikes, it was science and technology. Rock collecting, doing experiments with my chemistry set, building robots, and flying drones. Maybe this field trip would be better than I thought. Has anyone gone ice skating before? Miss Taylor asked. Gabby and I are on hockey teams, Carson said. My friend Jada raised her hand. I went ice skating with my
cousins
when we were visiting family in New York, she said. I fell a few times, but I got it by the end. Lena took ice skating lessons. RJ had gone before, too. I wondered why I'd never tried it. As my friend shared what it's like, it sounded kind of tricky. But I could roller skate and was pretty good at picking up new things. I wasn't sweating it. How hard could it be? At recess, RJ and I headed for kickball with Gabby and Kyla. The girls had their own conversation going. RJ put his hand on my shoulder. Miles, you got me beat in most sports, he said. I'm so glad I have one up on you. What are you talking about? It's not a competition. I'm talking about ice skating, he said. Finally, I know how to do something you haven't tried. I shrugged. If that made him feel good, cool. You're definitely going to wipe out at least once, he said. Made sense that I might follow as I learned, but the way he said it made me roll my eyes. Don't worry, I'll be there to help you up. Gabby and Kyla grew quiet like our conversation just got interesting. I didn't know why RJ was making a big deal out of this, but I wasn't going to let him talk trash. It may be my first time, but I don't know if I'll be falling. I can skate. You sure about that, he said. How about a bet? Bet? It was like the word echoed through the playground and caught everyone's attention. Bet. I heard whispering and felt stares on my back. If you skate without falling, I'll put a Miles is the man sign on my backpack. If you fall, you have to put one on yours saying that I am. RJ was my friend, but he loved competition. Too much sometimes. This whole thing was silly. I just wanted to learn about physics and have some fun. But now that everybody was listening, I was on the spot. Bet. I agreed. The pressure was on. Chapter 2. Looking like me. When the school bus pulled up to my stop, I bumped fists with RJ and hopped off. I could see Nana down the block waiting in front of our house. She wiped her glistening face with her arm and smiled when she spotted me. The silver in her locks shone in the sunlight. There's my boy, she said. I bent down and kissed her cheek. How was your day? It was pretty good, I said. I aced the test and found out we're going on an ice skating field trip. Sounds fun, she said. I did some skating in my day. Ice skating? Yes, sir. Don't sound so shocked. Your Nana knows a few things, she said, winking. Got a lot of homework? Already did it. I'll take my backpack in and come out and help. I don't know why I was surprised that Nana could ice skate. Just when I thought I knew everything about her, she revealed something else. Like the time she pointed herself out as an extra in the movie we were watching, or when she told us about the time she had filled in for a famous singer when his bus didn't make it to the club on time. Inside, her paintings gave clues about her life. A brown girl standing behind a microphone on stage, people of all ages protesting with picket signs raised high, a picture of my granddad who passed away when I was little, in an Air Force uniform, a portrait of our family, Mama, Dad, Nana, and me, holding hands around the dinner table. That was my favorite. Sometimes I wish there was another kid in the picture with us. Don't get me wrong, being an only child had perks. No fights over what to watch on TV or what video games to play. No battling for attention. But some days I missed having someone my age to hang with, celebrate holidays, and share secrets. I guess that's why I loved being around my friends so much. I ran upstairs to my room, dropped off my backpack and changed into an old t-shirt and sweats. I grabbed some garden gloves and headed outside. I thought you got lost, Nana said without looking up. I could hear the smile in her voice. I kneeled next to her in the dirt and got busy. I had to use both hands to pull out a stubborn patch of leafy plants. The roots ran deep. Tell me about ice skating, I said. That was a long time ago, honey. Feels like another life. On TV, I never saw ice skaters who looked like us, with Olympic medals. I said it in my mind that I would change that. I practiced and got pretty good, but there was a lot that I wanted to do. Art and music ended up calling to me more. I hadn't thought about ice skating being something that could make a difference. That was cool. For a minute, I thought about telling Nana about RJ's bet, but I knew what she would say. Her voice rang out in my head. We taught you better than to follow along with something you don't feel good about. You should have set him straight. Nana and I worked side by side until the weeds were out of the ground and in the lawn bag. We can mulch next week, she said, dusting off her pants as she stood. Now it's time to get washed up. We smell like outside. I headed upstairs to take a shower and change my clothes. My parents were on their way home with dinner. Fridays were our eating out days. They both worked at the university, so sometimes they drove to work together. I came down just as they were coming in. Hey, Miles, Mama said, giving me a hug. Dad pulled me into one, too. After setting the bags of food on the table, the savory smell made my stomach grumble. I read the name of the restaurant on the bags. Catch of the Sea. Looked like we were having fish tonight. I washed my hands and set the dining room table so we could all eat together. Nana blessed the food, and we dug in. Anything new at school, Mama asked. Nothing much, I said. We're going ice skating for a field trip next week. Ice skating, huh? Dad said. Maybe you'll get into it and want to try hockey like my man Willie O'Ree. Who's that? Uh-oh. Why did I say that? Dad was a black history professor and was famous for his homework assignments. Sounds like you need to hit the book sign, he said. You know I don't just give out answers. That's too easy. Look it up on the computer after dinner, Mama said. She was a techie. Let us know what you find out. Why couldn't Dad just tell me? Now I had to wait to find out who Willie O'Ree was. As soon as I was finished eating, I put my plate in the sink and headed for the stairs. Aren't you forgetting something, Miles? Mama said. She glanced at the table. Right. I had to help clean up. When I was done, I made a beeline for my room to look up Willie O'Ree online. His picture came up first. He reminded me a little of Nana's brother, my Uncle Ray. I clicked on one of the articles. Willie O'Ree was the first black hockey player in the National Hockey League. They called him the Jackie Robinson of ice hockey because they both broke racial barriers. Over his career in the minor leagues and NHL, he dealt with name-calling, racist taunt, people doing horrible things like spitting at him, throwing drinks at him, and starting fights with him. But he never gave up. I nodded and wrote his name in the notebook I fill with facts about important events and people. Willie O'Ree. That was someone I would remember. Before getting up, I heard a ding. It was an invite from RJ, Jada, and Gabby to play a video game. Before joining them, I saw I had a private message from RJ, too. Hope you're getting my sign ready, it said. I sighed. He never let up. Somebody needed to teach RJ a lesson. Maybe it would be me. Chapter 3. Secret Weapon. Field trip day would be here before I knew it. I lived in a house of skaters. That gave me an edge. Nana taking me ice skating would be cheating, but there was nothing wrong with her giving me tips. Nana, do you think you could give me some ice skating pointers? I asked Saturday morning. Sure, honey, she said. When I get back. I'm running late for an appointment. We can talk skating all you want later today. She rushed out the door and didn't say where she was going. That was kind of weird, but I didn't want to be nosy and ask. I got some orange juice and noticed a flyer on the kitchen table. I saw the words luxury apartments and townhomes for independent seniors. My stomach dropped. What was that for? Was Nana thinking about moving? I held the paper in my hand, frozen in my spot. No way. She couldn't leave. It hurt to even think about her not being here. I put the flyer back on the table and turned it over as if that would make it disappear. My thoughts raced as I trudged upstairs to my room. Was Nana unhappy living with us? Did I take up too much of her time? Why did she want a place by herself? Each step felt like I was moving through mud. I flopped on the bed and tried to think about something else. Hey, Miles, Mama said, sticking her head in my room after a while. Start wrapping up whatever you're doing. Don't forget you're getting together with RJ in a few. The basketball hangout. I sighed. I did forget. I really wasn't in the mood to see him. But I got up and started getting ready. When Mama and I got to the park near our school, Brookside Elementary, RJ and his mom were already there shooting hoops. I'll let you take over, Miss Nikki said. She hugged my mom. They sat on a nearby bench and started talking. Horse? RJ asked, dribbling the ball. He had on his favorite blue Air Jordan hoodie, the one he wore when he was serious about playing. I nodded. This was our game. You had to copy the other person's shot. If you missed it, you got an H. The next one you missed, you got an O. If you spelled out all the letters of horse, you lost. You can go first, I said. RJ made a layup. That meant I had to make the same shot. Swish, it sailed in. That was just a warm-up, RJ said, dribbling the ball while he eyed me. Let's see if you can do this. Jump shot, hook shot, over his shoulder behind the hoop. He sank some and missed some. Each time I was up, he looked like he was holding his breath, hoping that my shots wouldn't make it in. But I was lucky. I matched his flow, missing a few and nailing others. Finally, we both had HORS. RJ knew this could be it. He dribbled the ball way out at three-point land. He knew that was my weakest shot. A long look at me, and then he lifted the ball in his hands, focused on the hoop, and let it fly. It circled the rim and landed on the ground. He winced. That was so close, I said. He didn't say anything, just nodded and twisted his lips. You're up. I didn't know if I would make it, but I knew how RJ was. I thought about missing it on purpose. That way no one would win. But I remembered how it felt when RJ was being so competitive. I was tired of it. I took a breath and focused on my goal. Hand arched, ball raised in the air. I let it go and felt like it was moving in slow motion. I saw RJ's eyes following the ball too. Swoosh, nothing but net. RJ came over to me with his hand raised to give me some love. I can't hate Miles, RJ said, giving me a pound. That was a nasty shot. But we still got our bet. Let's see how you do with that. What RJ said didn't even bother me. I had bigger things on my mind. As Mama and I drove home, I kept thinking about that paper I saw. You okay, Miles? I'm fine, I said, just thinking about something I need to figure out. Want some help? No, I got it, I said. I know you do, but I'm here if you need me. Nana was in her room when we got home. How was your appointment? I asked, standing in the doorway. It was good, really good. Now I promised you some skating talk. Come on in and have a seat. But I didn't want to hear about skating anymore. I wanted to know where she went and why. I tried to listen to her tips, but heard a voice inside asking questions instead. Did Nana really want to move? She'd been living with us since I was in kindergarten. Hard to remember when she wasn't here. What would it take for her to stay? Chapter 4. The Science of Skating. Monday morning, Miss Taylor started our lesson on physics to get us ready for the trip. How many of you have slipped on ice? I raised my hand along with a few others. I still remembered how my backside ached when it hit the driveway. Think of how hard it is to have control. What helps skaters start and stop on the ice? She wrote a word on the whiteboard in big purple letters. Friction. When you're skating and gliding, there's a little friction between the skates and the ice. But when it's time to push off or stop, the blades in the skates can cut into the ice and can give you the traction you need. Next, she reviewed Newton's first law of motion. Anyone remember what it is? Jada raised her hand. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. How does that relate to skating? I tried to focus, but I kept thinking about Nana and that silly bet with RJ. Even learning about science couldn't get me out of my funk. Miss Taylor caught me staring into space. What do you think, Miles? I'm not sure, I said. Then I fessed up. Sorry, Miss Taylor, I wasn't paying attention. Thanks for being honest, Miles, she said, but I need you to be here. The rest of the lesson I took notes, but I still felt like I was 2 steps behind. Miss Taylor talked about different kinds of skates, ones with 4 wheels, inline, and ice skates, and how they were different and similar. You okay, Miles? Jada asked as we lined up for lunch. She knew if I missed a science question, I was out of it. Yeah, I said, and wished it were true. As I ate my chicken nuggets, I tried to think of how to convince Nana to stay. I could tell her how much I'd miss her. Or even better, what if I showed her how much she meant to us and how much we needed her? Then she would never want to leave. When we hit the playground after lunch, Jada came over. I heard about your bet with RJ, she said. Why are you doing that? I don't know, I said. RJ tried to trash talk me. Before I knew it, I was in. You shouldn't do it if you don't want to, she said. Forget about the bet. Just have fun. Jada, you coming? Simone called her over to the double dutch with her, Carson and Lena. See you, Miles. Jada was right. I thought about what she said as I joined Gabby, RJ, Kyla, and the crew for kickball. Maybe I should just call the bet off. But on the bus ride home, RJ kept trying to get under my skin. I want the sign in my favorite color, green, he said. Make the letters real big so everyone can see. Whatever, RJ, I said. Why you mad, he said. You can't be good at everything. I was worried about Nana, and RJ was getting on my nerves. I didn't say I was, I snapped back. Why are you being a hater? RJ crinkled his eyebrows and had a strange expression, like he couldn't believe I said that. He turned to the window. We rode the rest of the way without talking. I got out a book and pretended to read. When we got to my stop, I couldn't wait to get off. Nana wasn't outside when I walked up. I found her in the living room packing up things in boxes. My stomach dropped again. What are those for? I asked. Just passing on some things I don't need. This was getting serious. Time to put my plan into action. Nana, could you help me with homework? Sure, I can try. We sat at the dining room table and went over my vocabulary lesson together. She quizzed me on the words. Looks like you know these pretty well, she said. I'm impressed. Thanks, Nana, I said. That's because you helped me make it stick. What would I do without you? I think you'd do okay, she said, winking. You got a good head, Miles. That's all you need. Why did she say that? I needed her, too. This wasn't going the way I wanted. Nana, can I ride my bike around the loop? I'll change clothes first. Sure, honey. Whenever I'm riding, it's like all my worries fly away. My mind is as free as the wind. In the garage, I buckled my helmet and hopped on my bike. Before I knew it, I wasn't thinking about Nana or RJ. I just focused on pedaling. It felt good as... My legs pumped and took me down our street to the cul-de-sac, around the loop and back. Again and again. I smiled and waved at Nana when I saw her working in her herb garden. I parked my bike and got an idea. When Mama and Dad got home, I asked if we could go to the store to buy some mulch. Did Nana want us to pick it up? No, I wanted to surprise her and do it myself. That's so thoughtful, Miles, Mama said. She'll love it. So what made you think of surprising Nana, Dad asked, on the way there. She does a lot. I wanted to do something for her. That's right, Miles, he said with pride in his voice. Mom is always there for us. You're growing up. Now tell me, what did you learn about Willie O'Ree? I laughed. It might be a few days later, but Dad always remembered to follow up. He was amazing, I said. It must have been so hard dealing with people calling him names while he played hockey just because of the color of his skin. But he kept going. Yeah, he paved the way. There was a colored hockey league in Canada before Willie O'Ree's time. There's even a postage stamp honoring them. Like the Negro Leagues of baseball here. That's cool. Learning about hockey history made ice skating feel more important, like I was going to be part of a legacy. Nana made me feel like that too. Gardening with her, painting, and staying up to watch old movies. That was something special that I didn't want to end. When we got back, I got busy. I spread the reddish brown mulch around the bushes and the tree in the front yard, making sure it looked neat and even. I stood in the driveway and smiled at my work. It looked good. Nana had taught me well. I couldn't wait until she saw it. I raced inside and told her I had something to show her. Excuse me a minute, she said to the person she was speaking to on the phone, using her business voice. You see me talking, Miles. I'll be off soon. Ouch. I just wanted her to see the surprise. I kept walking through the room. Seemed like she was never getting off the call. I wondered who she was talking to. I caught a few words. It looks real nice. How soon will it be ready? Was the call about a new place to live? My heart raced. I didn't want to think about it. Finally, Nana hung up. Okay, Miles, what was so important that you forgot your manners? Sorry, Nana, I said, grabbing her hand and tugging gently, but there's something you've got to check out. I'm coming, she said, laughing. I'm coming. When she walked outside, her face said it all. She beamed at the neat spread of mulch. You did this, she said, looking at me. All by yourself? I smiled and nodded. I'm so proud of you. Looks like I can hang up my gardening gloves. The torch has been passed. Hang up her gloves? No, that wasn't the plan. This was going all... Wrong. I wanted Nana to see how much we appreciated her, not that I could do it without her. No brother or sister was bad enough, but I always told myself that at least I had Mama, Dad, and Nana. That was something special. Now she might be moving. What was I going to do? I felt that drop in my stomach again. Things just weren't working out. Chapter 5, Balancing Act. On field trip day, a chill ran through me before I even got to the rink. I sat next to Carson on the way there. RJ sat next to Kyla and kept turning to look at me. I knew the bet didn't really matter, but it felt like everything was out of control. I needed something to go my way. Inside, we lined up to get our skates. I found a spot to put mine on and saw RJ on his way to where I was. I tried not to look at him. You might get lucky and not fall, he said, pulling on his skates and tying the laces. But if you do, remember our bet. I didn't answer. Remember? How could I forget? RJ wouldn't let me. The instructors checked that our skates were securely on so we had support around our ankles. Next, it was time to stand up. I felt weird balancing on the blade. The instructors covered some rules teaching us how to stop, keep our balance, and fall safely. It was time to follow them to the rink. Though it was warm outside, we had on sweaters, jackets, and gloves so that we wouldn't be too cold in the indoor rink. I still shivered as I stepped onto the slippery floor. I marched like they told us to as I got used to the feel of the skates on the ice. I thought knowing how to roller skate would help, but this felt completely different. Maybe RJ would win the bet after all. We learned how to push off and glide. That wasn't too bad. We played some games too, skating over to pick up a beanbag and make our way back. When it was my turn, I tried to keep my feet together with a little space between them. But I could feel them spreading further and further apart. I did what the instructor said not to do. Waved my arms to try to steady myself. I almost lost it. Then I remembered the tip about touching my knees. Woo! Close one. I saw RJ watching me. Good job, Miles, the instructor said. We came off the ice and sat at tables while Miss Taylor talked about figure skating and kinetic energy. Then we got some time to try skating on our own. I saw Jada and Lena encouraging Simone as she wobbled along the edge of the rink. She looked like a fawn learning to walk. Is that how I looked, too? I stayed close to the wall in case I needed support. RJ skated next to me. How's it going, he said. Tougher than it looks, right? Need some help? I didn't know if he was serious or trying to be funny. I got it. Whatever. He skated off and left me creeping along the rink. I was focusing so hard on not falling that I wasn't having fun at all. As I watched my friends laughing and skating together, I decided to stop playing it safe. I pushed off and glided just as RJ was skating past. Watch it, he warned. But it was too late. We crashed into each other, and I felt my legs give out. Before I knew it, we were both on our bottoms. You did that on purpose, he said. Come on, RJ, I said. I fell on purpose. Why would I do that? Why are you acting this way? I'm just tired of you always being the best in everything, he said. I just wanted to have something. Not everyone saw me fall. You took that, too. He didn't look at me and sounded upset. I didn't know he felt like that. That was messed up. There were plenty of things he did better than me. Did you forget that you always smash it when we play Roblox? I said. You play piano. I can't do that. You run faster than me. You hit three-pointers more than me. But we shouldn't be competing. We're friends. Yeah, he said. I guess sitting out here on the ice, neither of us is the man. We looked at each other and laughed. Why don't we just have fun, I said. But first, can you help me get up? RJ grinned. Bet. Chapter 6, Ice Dreams. After the big fall, I stopped worrying about trying to impress and started to get the hang of skating on ice. I thought about Willie O'Reed and the Color Hockey League in Canada and held my head high as I glided around the rink. Skating felt good. Nana would be proud. Nana. What was I going to do? She always said to deal with problems head on. Enough worrying. We needed to talk. When I got home and opened the door, I smelled vanilla and butter. I knew what that was. You made pound cake, I said, smiling at Nana. Just took it out a few minutes ago, she said. Want a slice? No way was I turning that down. I put down my backpack and followed her into the kitchen. I saw the golden brown cake on a crystal stand on the island. I walked over to get a closer look. And spotted something else, too. A furniture store booklet. My mouth hung open. I couldn't believe it. Right where everyone could see. Suddenly, I wasn't hungry anymore. Before I could stop it, the words were out. Why didn't you tell me you were moving? There. I'd asked the question that made my head pound and my stomach turn flips. Moving? Where did you hear that? Nana usually told it to be straight. It wasn't like her to answer a question with a question. Something was up. I saw the paper about the senior apartments and townhomes. She gave me one of those, you're out of line stares. Miles Dubois Lewis, what were you doing going through my things? I looked down. No, ma'am, I wasn't. I didn't. I found it on the table. And you thought it was for me? Why didn't you just ask? I guess I didn't really want to hear what her answer would be. Suddenly my throat got thick. I couldn't talk. I sniffed and tried to hold it in, but everything blurred and a tear rolled down my cheek. I wiped it away with the back of my hand. "Aw, honey," she said, coming over and giving me a hug. "I'm sorry you were so worried. I wouldn't look into leaving without letting you know. A friend of mine is searching for a place. I was helping her find a good one." "It wasn't for you?" "I might move one day," she said. My stomach fluttered. "It's nice to have your own space sometimes. But no time soon. You're stuck with me." I hugged her close. I hoped she wouldn't leave for a long time. I filled her in on how much fun I had. Ice skating. She had a great idea. "Why didn't we all go this weekend?" "It's been a minute since I've been on the ice," she said when we got there. "Let's see how much I remember." Mama and Dad were all in, though they had never gone before. They laced up their skates, and Nana and I gave them some tips. They crept along the edge just like I did when I was learning. It was weird not seeing them as queen and king of the rink. Nana and I skated together and glided back to help them. It was a good day. On the way out, I saw a sign for hockey lessons. It was like it was lit up with Christmas lights. My eyes grew big. It made me think about what could be. "What is it, Miles?" Mama asked. Dad walked over and checked out the sign. He smiled. "For Willie O'Ree?" he asked. "For Mr. O'Ree and for me." I knew hockey would be another adventure, but I was ready. I gazed from face to face at Nana, Mama, and Dad. Something warmed me up from the inside. I had all I needed to succeed.